It was really interesting to watch that double standard playing out the past couple weeks of the rallies and the protests we've seen on our streets versus those Trump rallies, well, the first rally that he kicked off just the other day. When it comes to Trump, you nitpick all about the rally, you talk about the attendance, you mock him for every little bit, every sign everybody's carrying, you talk about how it's irresponsible to do all of this during the pandemic, and whatever, fill your boots, that's politics. But it's funny that the same voices that are amplified, the same media narrative constructed around going crazy over every little thing about Trump you possibly can, there's zero of that when that comes to things like the protests in our streets and the riots and the marches. I mean, can you imagine any media figure, any sort of mainstream media story doing the in-depth criticism and nitpicking of, say, one of the protests as has been done with the Donald Trump rallies? Looks like we have Trump derangement syndrome at a fever pitch once again. Although it hasn't really died down, has it? I mean, 4 years of people viewing everything about Trump through a prism of let's make this look as worse as it possibly can, accentuate the negatives absolutely time and again. Yet I think one thing that's interesting about this current moment that we're in right now, it shows that at least the long-term approach of the Trump administration, the big issues that they've been drawing attention to, well, he has largely been proven right. Has he not? Let's take China. Donald Trump was tough on China back in 2016, before it was cool, before polls showed in Canada and the United States that's what people want their leaders to do now. Trump began very wary about China. A lot of people didn't see it that way. Now we've all come around to his side. Take immigration. Still to this day, tens of thousands of people crossing illegally from Mexico, from South America, up into the United States. It is unsustainable, regardless of what you think. You've got to acknowledge this can't continue. Well, the pandemic has shown that borders do matter again. After there'd been a couple years of open borders advocacy, and Donald Trump was called every name in the book for basically saying open borders doesn't cut it anymore. Donald Trump also a major skeptic of global institutions and the validity and the relevance of the United Nations. Looks like we're all there right now as well, after watching the World Health Organization, a UN body, really manage to bungle the coronavirus file. So it's going to be funny in the next couple weeks and months as people again try and negatively nitpick every aspect of Donald Trump and everything he says. Yet when it comes to the big picture and where we're headed on these major files, well, it looks like he was proven right in many respects. How's that going to play out in the weeks ahead?